welcome back to the DBF Garage, and on today's agenda I'm going to show you how to change this nasty crusty stock 87 CR500 water pump case cover. Let's get going. So first things first, if you haven't already got it done like I do, remove your hoses, drain the coolant, drain the transmission oil, and then I'm gonna go ahead, remove the kickstarter and the rear brake pedal. Oh, they always gotta be difficult, don't they? There we go. Pretty gross inside of there. We'll clean her up. Up next, outer cover. As you can see, it's still got a little nastiness inside the oil. It's all right. Pull the cover off, give her a little clean her out with a little brake clean. Good to go. Remove inner cover. Oh no, I got it on me. Yeah. Gross. Transmission oil I don't think is supposed to look like a strawberry milkshake. I don't want a strawberry milkshake though. I wonder if Wendy's is open. So let me show you the biggest two differences between the first generation CR500 water pump case and the second generation CR500 water pump case. On the first generation, one thing of it is, the outlets and the inlets to the water pump are in a V. Peace, man. Kind of like, so. Second, this is made out of magnesium. Magnesium actually has a reaction with water and whatever's in the coolant and causes that. Typically, before this happens, they actually rot out around the impeller and have an external leak, and then they rot out around the bearings and the seals and causes antifreeze or water into the transmission. In order to fix that, I ordered this for a 2001 CR500, and it's the same from 89 to 2001. Now keep in mind that 89 to I believe 91 have this style, but they're made out of magnesium. I believe in 92 is when they went to all aluminum, this style. But if you just order it for 2001, it'll work, I promise you. So in order to make this work on this older motor, all you gotta do is pull apart your factory water pump, if it's still in good condition, which this one is, install it into the new side cover with all your brand new hardware, and then you're gonna need a conversion hose to go from this back outlet over to the back of the cylinder. And that part number is a Dayco 88399. I believe it is for a early 2000s Saturn S with a 1.9 liter, I believe, 4-cylinder engine, and it's one of the heater hoses. But Dayco 88399, I'll put the part number right here if I'm wrong, because I'm going off of memory. So, first things first, I'm gonna scuff this thing down and paint it because it's the wrong color. So while we're waiting for the other case to finish drying, I'm going to show you a really simple, easy way to test whether or not you have an aluminum or a magnesium side cover. This is super easy, and all you need is something from your wife's cleaning closet or the kitchen. So what I'm going to use is just regular old white vinegar. Now this is cleaning vinegar. It's pretty much the same thing as white vinegar, but it'll do the exact same thing. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take this known aluminum aftermarket side cover, fairly new, and this known magnesium side cover, and I'm going to show you what happens when you put a little bit of vinegar on the covers. And I've gone ahead and scuffed this down to the raw aluminum. Absolutely no reaction on the aluminum. Check this out. That's magnesium, 100% magnesium. Old trick my father-in-law taught me years ago, how to figure out if you got magnesium or aluminum. Got the old water pump drive gear installed. Don't forget, when you're putting the sills in, you always put the spring towards the fluid you're trying to keep contained. Easy way to remember. So, I'm gonna go ahead, throw the gasket on this case, we'll slap this thing on. Oh, I love that snap when it seats like that. Perfect. Bolts. Well, while we're waiting for hoses for this thing to show up from the eBay, because they're coming from who knows where, yeah. It's a week and a half later and still no parts, so that's nice. While we're waiting on those, let's get the old chain and sprockets thrown on this thing. And what we're going to use is the old primary drive setup. So primary drive front sprocket, rear sprocket, and non-O-ring chain. Now I don't run an O-ring chain on these things because I don't think they last any longer, to be honest with you. I think the wider chain gives it just a little bit more leverage on these big bores, and it actually makes them stretch prematurely. So had really good luck with non-O-ring chains, so that's what's going to go on this project. Don't forget to line up the caliper properly. We don't have to have a repeat of what happened last time now, do we? Yep, plenty of grease on that for sure. Yikes. Chains and sprockets are on this thing, and once I get this thing put back together, set down off the hoist, I'll sit on it, tension the chain up like it's supposed to be, and we'll be ready to ride this thing. I guess while I'm waiting for hoses for this thing to, put back together, I'm gonna see if I can tackle this rear fender and get it cleaned up just a little bit. Now I'm not gonna run this thing forever, but let's just see if I can clean this fender up and make it look just a little bit better, because eventually I will put a new one on it, but for now, this one looks terrible. So, got the old razor blade out. We'll do the scrape trick to get all the nasty stuff off of it, the first layer of nasty faded plastic junk off of it. And then we'll wet sand it and then bring a polish to it, see if we can get it look a little better. Yeah, it's already starting to look a little better. So there's gonna be a couple people down in the comments who are gonna say, oh, all you gotta do is take a MAP gas torch or a heat gun and just heat this up and it'll bring the shine back up. They're not wrong, but the problem with doing that is unless you strip all the oxidation off the top layer, all that does is melt that oxidation and all the garbage back into another solid top layer of the plastics. That's the first problem. The other problem of it is once you melt that in, it makes these brittle and they break a lot easier, and then you know, what's the point? You might as well just buy a new one. And the third thing of it is when you do that and you reheat these to bring the gloss back out of them, it's good for probably just, I don't know, it's good for not very long, because once the sun gets on it and heat gets back on it from the sun, it'll turn a chalky white, and it's just not a very good permanent fix. So, the way I've done this, razor blade like I'm doing, scrape off all the oxidation, and then start sanding it down with wet dry paper, wet sand all this down with some sandpaper, and end up with like a 1500 grit, 2000 grit sandpaper, and actually buff the plastics out. Now again, I'm going to replace this fender eventually. But for now, this will look a lot better. This rear fender's actually starting to come out pretty decent. Now I know, before you guys blow up the comments, I know that the fender's broke on the right hand side, but I'm gonna fix that, and I'll show you how to fix that before we're done. But you know, these stock colored 87 CR500 plastics, they're hard to find, and this one's pretty close. So if I can get this one in a lot better shape, you know, we'll run it for the time being. But I've hit it with 400 grit, 800 grit sandpaper, and I'll work my way up to about 1500 or 2000 grit sandpaper. By the time I get to there, it'll be ready to just take some polish and actually polish it out, and it should look not brand new, but it'll look way better than it did. So I'm gonna keep on sanding on this stupid thing and show you what I got when we go to put the polish on. Now, there is two types of polish that I like to use on the plastics. One is this Maxima SC1. This stuff is, well, they call it a new bike in a can. It's pretty cool how this stuff works. And it kind of helps repel, you know, water and dirt and whatnot. So when you go to clean it, it just kind of falls off. I like that stuff. It's really good stuff. But what I have found that I really, really like is this Honda spray cleaner and polisher for plastics. Now, a good friend of mine, Troy, you guys have probably seen him on the channel, he turned me onto this stuff years ago, and I just keep coming back to this stuff. I really like it. So for me, this is the stuff we're gonna use today. So let's get her on, see what it looks like. I'm gonna go ahead, let this kind of soak into the plastics for, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. We'll wipe her off, buff her to a shine. We'll call her good. Dang, that looks good. So we got the rear fender all polished up and looking real pretty. So the next step to finishing off this fender is to actually repair it. Now if you see a look right there, this little tab right here is broken off where it mounts to the frame. It's supposed to look like that one, and it looks like this one. So I'm going to show you how to reattach this and how to fix any broken plastic on a Power Sports pretty much for free. So what you need is on your air filter on your car, next time you change the oil and the air filter on it, cut the top piece that goes on top of the actual air filter out and save a chunk of it. And what's nice about this is stainless steel. It's very pliable, it's not very thick, and it's easily workable. Like I said, stainless steel, it's not gonna rust. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this out to back the broken piece and overlay the good piece, and I'm gonna heat this up with a MAP gas torch, like so. You can use a heat gun if that works. And I'm gonna flip the fender over, and once that stainless steel is hot, I'm gonna press it in on top of both pieces and then hurry and swipe over the top so it seals it into the plastic, and it's good to go. So I'm gonna cut this piece up, make my pattern, and let's get it fixed up. Make sure you clean both parts really, really well with acetone or something that will not leave a film, because when this all melts together, you don't want contaminants down inside of where the plastic is. I'm talking with my hands a lot. Clean your stuff. Just my luck, the battery died right as I set the piece on the plastic. But that's okay, because you get the idea. But check that out. Yeah, not too shabby. Now I know I'm probably gonna get a little bit of, you know, on the old computer in the comment section about this, about, you know, they make plastic welders, or just buy a brand new Fender. You know, I don't have a plastic welder. That's my plastic welder, and this isn't a brand new Fender, so yeah. Go ahead, leave the comments. I don't care. I like them, makes me laugh. That should be enough to do a test fire. Yep, I'm that guy. Anybody that tries starting one of these without a boot on, you're asking for a sore foot. I'm not that guy. I learned that a long time ago. Old and wise, you could say. Ish. Yep. Time's come. Let's go see if this thing will fire off. So, went outside, turned the fuel valve on while I was putting my boot on to fill up the carburetor. Yeah, float was sticking, so it ran fuel all over. So I give her the old knock knock, who's there? And on the side of the bowl of the carburetor, and got the float to come unstuck. So should be good to go. Haven't started this thing, it's ice cold. Let's roll out here, flip the choke on, and probably kick for a while, longer than I want to. But let's see what happens. I don't know, maybe it won't run. I'm short-ish. All right, old girl. It's alive. Thing sounds good. Gotta adjust the idle just a little bit. water leak, but I know what it is. I'll show you here in just a second. Little leak. Well, this old girl sounds super healthy. It's been a long time since I've had a first generation liquid cooled CR500, in the fleet, and I kind of forgot how snappy these short rod CR500s are. This thing is just super snappy and super crisp, so I'm excited to throw my leg over this thing and go for a ride. But I'm not going to be able to do that today because as I'm running it, it showed a couple more problems, and I kind of figured it would. Let me roll this thing in and I'll show you what they are. If you look right there, see that right there? Them little chunks of magnesium. I've already wiped this off once. Yeah, see that? The inside of the radiator where this seal meets on the cap is not letting that seal do its job and do just that, seal. Because the magnesium from the old case is throughout the system and it's just kind of caked in on top of that aluminum radiator. So I'm probably gonna have to pull that radiator back off, clean that out, might have to acid wash the magnesium off the aluminum, but I don't think it's quite that bad. I think I can save it, but if I gotta buy a right-hand radiator, no big deal. I probably actually have one for this bike kicking around. Here's the other problem. Let me show you. The other thing I noticed while I was walking around listening to this thing just talk to me in her ding, 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 ding voice, which is just beautiful, is the front tire on this thing is coming apart. I don't have the front tire here yet. I ordered one. It was supposed to be here yesterday and it didn't. So I'm not gonna ride this thing with this bad tire because that's just silly. That's just asking for a disaster. That's not good. Yeah. When you can see the inners of a tire from the outers, that's a problem. So that being said, I'm gonna pull the tank back off this thing and scrub up the tank right here, kind of like I did the back fender. Do the same to the front fender. I got some cool shrouds that are proper for this era of CR500. I'm gonna throw on it, and got a seat cover. Next time you see this thing, I'm gonna teach you guys how to do a repair on the foam on any ATV, dirt bike, anything like that, and recover it. It's a pretty cool little trick. So, as always, I appreciate every single one of you watching and all the support you've given me, and we'll catch you next time.